Hi, Grumpy guys. This is Grumpy Gray 1951 here to talk about the movie for the month of November, which is Alfred Hitchcock's The Wrong Man. But before I do that, I have a package to open. I got a package in the mail today from Bob Harrison in Canada. Bob of the North. Bob of the North. Bob's up there someplace behind an iceberg. Anyway, he told me he was going to send me a package, but I forgot what he said was going to be, a book or something. But there's no ticking, so let me open this up here and see what Bob sent me. I hope it's nothing embarrassing. Bob, you wouldn't embarrass me, would you, Bob? Airmail par avion. Okay. We have, it is a book. Oh, a whole bunch of stuff. Wait a minute. It just keeps coming. All right. First, there's a note. Let's see what the note says. Hi, Mike. Drop dead. Love, Bob. No, just kidding. Hello, Mike. This might cheer you up. Enjoy. Bob from the North. Thank you, Bob. Let's see what we have here. We have a book, Star Trek. Bob knows I'm a Star Trek freak. This is an old book. Oh my gosh. A Chilling Journey Through the Worlds Beyond Imagination, adapted by James Blish. This must be one of the very first ones. Wow. Here's the back. Kirk and Spock. Look at that. How cool that is. Let's see what year this came out. This is a book I haven't read, and I have a lot of Star Trek books. This is from, wow, 1967 is when this first came out. That is something. Thank you so much, Bob. That is cool. I will have fun reading this. I read a lot of Star Trek novels. He also sent me, oh, look at this, movies. He sent me a bunch of CDs, or DVDs, I guess. Open the package here. Wow. Bob, you outdid yourself. Let's see. Thomas Mitchell, The Fighting Sullivans. Oh, okay. That's a movie I've never seen, from I think 1940s, something like that. Errol Flynn. All right. Yeah. This is Them with James Whitmore. 3.5 stars. Them. The one about the giant ants. Ooh. Locked worldwide. Thank you, Bob. This is Cary Grant, 1947, The Bishop's Wife, which I have never seen. I do not have a copy of that. I do have a copy of Them. I will admit that, but I do not have a copy of The Bishop's Wife, but I've never seen it. That will be cool. Babyface, Barbara Stanwyck. Oh, great movie. I saw this in one of my film classes. Very good movie. John Wayne is in it for about 5 minutes. And this is How the West Was Won, James Stewart. Wow, classic. I've seen that, but it's been a long, long time. So thank you, Bob. That's really nice of you. I appreciate that. It's like an early Christmas present. So thank you very much. All right. Whoops, just dropped a note. Okay. Okay, let's get to the Alfred Hitchcock film. This film was picked by James Higgins, DVD collector in 1974 for the month of November. And I've seen this before, not that long ago, for the first time. It's on this compilation 4-disc set. It also has Suspicion, Strangers on a Train, and I Confess, all very good Hitchcock films. So this came out in 1956, starring Henry Fonda and Vera Miles. It's a very different kind of Hitchcock film. It's not in any way a thriller. There's nothing thrilling going on in this film. It's a very quiet, kind of slow, methodical story that's based on true facts about a man who is wrongly accused of committing a crime, stealing $71, right? He gets arrested for that. Henry Fonda plays a guy, 38-year-old man living near New York City. His name is Emmanuel Balistrero. They call him Manny. And he's married to Vera Miles, his wife Rose, and they have 2 young sons. And they live a modest life. He is a musician. He plays the bass in the orchestra at the Stork Club in New York City. And they do okay, but they're struggling. They owe money. And the wife is very worried about not economizing enough. So they have a lot of discussions about money and about things they're worried about. But they really love each other, and they have a happy family, and they're doing okay. The wife, her name is Rose, nice lady. She is having trouble with her wisdom teeth. She has 4 impacted wisdom teeth, and all of them have to be treated, and it's going to cost $300, which sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but for them it was a very, very serious financial problem. So they're trying to figure out how to get money for her dental problems, and they decide that he will try to take money out from, borrow money from her life insurance policy. So he goes to this office, this bank, where the policy is stated, and is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, where the policy is. Sorry, it's very late, folks. I'm kind of tired. And he's waiting in line, and the woman who's standing in front of the bank teller, she recognizes him, or she thinks she recognizes him as the same man who has been into the bank twice and robbed one of the tellers at gunpoint. So there are 2 other women she goes to, and she points them out and says, "Is that the same guy?" They all 3 are positive that he is the same man. So he gets arrested. He gets pulled into the system, and of course he didn't commit this crime, but he's pulled into the system, and the movie shows in a very quiet, methodical way how quickly someone can be pulled into this justice system and have their life completely taken away from them, completely changed, and the effects that it would have not only the person arrested, but everyone in his family as well. And that's what the movie is about. It just shows what happens to this man who is really a very decent, quiet family man who looks like he wouldn't hurt anybody in the world, and he gets wrongly accused, one detail upon the next in the investigation, and it just makes everyone believe that he's guilty. And it's just a very interesting movie, and it's very moving what happens to this guy as we watch. In a way, you don't see him changing, you just see him very quietly allowing it to happen and never really getting upset to the point where he's struggling with the police or anything like that. He cooperates completely with everything they want him to do, but you also feel very deeply when he is locked away into the cell, the way the film shows him walking back and forth, and the anguish look on his face. And if you're someone like me who is very unhappy being in confined spaces and gets very claustrophobic, you could feel that claustrophobia happening to him. It just comes out through the screen, and it's probably the most dramatic moment in the film, quite frankly. Everything else is done in a very sort of a normal, quiet way. And later on in the film, probably the other climactic thing is when the man's wife, Rose, played by Vera Miles, in a great performance, she starts having a mental breakdown. But even then, it's not the kind of thing where somebody is, yelling and screaming and tearing their hair out. She goes through it in a very quiet, understated way, which makes it all the more believable, I guess, because there are no overdramatics connected with it. So that's the way the whole film goes. Even during the part, well, spoiler alert here, since you guys we're all watching the same movie, so you all know how it ends. But even when the film ends and we realize that they found the man who did rob this bank, and so Manny is free. When he sees this man coming down the hallway toward him, and they're looking at each other, Manny still doesn't have any kind of a strong reaction. He just says to the man, "Do you know what you've done to my wife?" He hardly raises his voice. He hardly has any change in his personality whatsoever. And I think it's done very well. These are based on true facts. Maybe Hitchcock wanted it to be done in such a way that it wouldn't be a thriller, that it wouldn't be that it wouldn't be so overwrought or have twists like a lot of his stories do. He wanted it to be a different kind of film. In fact, in the introduction to the film, before the credits roll, Hitchcock comes on and he actually says something very similar to that he wanted it to be a different kind of a movie. So I think it was very successful. Great performance by Henry Fonda as well. And I would recommend this to anybody who's trying to sort of bring Hitchcock into your life. And if you think of Hitchcock only as somebody who does fantastic thrillers or horror movies with birds flying around, this is a different side to Hitchcock. One thing I do like very much about this film is the way it puts religion in the good light. Now, when Manny is arrested at the police station and they are taking away his belongings from his pockets and all that, one of the things they pull out is a rosary. And when they're done cataloging everything, the sergeant at the desk says, you can take the rosary beads with you if you like. So Manny takes them back with him. And during his trial, when he's sitting in the courtroom and all these things are going on that he has no control over, you can see under the table that he is saying the rosary. He's holding the rosary in his hand, and his lips are moving. And also, at the climax of the film, when the climax of the film is about to happen, I should say, Manny is having a talk with his mother, and she says, have you prayed? And he says, yes, I have tried to pray. She says, keep praying. So at that moment, he looks at a picture on the wall in his room, in his house, a picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and he once again starts praying. And that's when, in the film, the image of the real thief comes into focus for the first time. It just sort of appears kind of superimposed on Manny's face, and that's when things start to change, when Manny starts to pray. So I like the way religion is used in this film in a very positive light. So, all right. Once again, I recommend this film highly. In fact, all of these wonderful Hitchcock films. And look forward to watching everybody else's videos. I've watched a couple of them already for The Wrong Man, but I need to catch up. I'm way behind on watching what everybody's doing, and my participation has been kind of slacking off lately, so I apologize for that. I will try to do better. All right, comments are welcome. Good night, guys.